Hi Lou, I'm Meg from Wisconsin, and I have a light switch at home. When I turn it on, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. The light bulb's not burnt out. What could be the problem?
Well, Meg, I'm always kind of leery when I give electrical advice on the show because this is an area where, you have to ask yourself a question. Am I going to hurt myself if I do this, or could I burn the house down? And when you're talking about electricity, those are always things to consider. The first and foremost thing is make sure you turn the breaker off before you do any electrical work. Now, you didn't mention in your question the age of your home, and that could be a telltale sign because, see, a lot of older switches, a lot of older homes have what they call mercury switches. They look very similar to this, but they actually feel almost, you see how you hear this click? In a mercury switch, it's very smooth. And what happens is that can kind of wear away and it doesn't make contact every single time. Now, if the home is newer, you may just have a bad switch or something loose. These terminals that you see here, perhaps the wire is not tight. Originally, when it was installed, it wasn't cranked down enough to seal the wires. So with the breaker off, you can take the switch plate cover off, take the switch out and inspect the wires. Make sure all these terminals are tight and then replace it. Flip the breaker back on and try it out. If it's an older switch, consider replacing it. If any of this makes you nervous, hire a licensed electrician. This question comes to us from our website, HouseSmartsTV.com. George writes, I have a sump pump in the basement that is driving me absolutely insane. Why, you ask? Well, when it turns on, it's nice and quiet, but when it stops, you hear this loud bang throughout my home. I do mean loud. My guess is that it's the float, but I don't know for sure. I can't take it anymore. I'm getting ready to disconnect it. Lou, please help. All right, George, together, let's take a deep breath. Now let's relax because we can solve this problem. Now, more than likely, that banging sound you hear is coming from the check valve, not the float. You see, the check valve is there. You'll see it somewhere on the pipe like this, to not allow as much water to go back into the pit once the pump turns off. When the float says the pit is empty, we don't want all this water to rush back in. Now, part of the problem is if this check valve is too low and you have a big extension of pipe above, all this water slams back against the check valve. It's almost like slamming a gate and you hear this loud noise. First, make sure that the pipe as it comes up and out is connected firmly and it's not loose. Secondly, consider taking this check valve and taking it off and moving it up. By doing that, what's going to happen is less water is going to actually slam against it, which means when the pump turns off, you won't hear that loud banging anymore.
For more information, check out our website at HouseSmartsTV.com.